Hi, Daniel. Welcome to Actors Making It.
Hi, Danny. Thanks for having me, mate.
Thank you for taking the time. I really appreciate it. It's been a couple of years since we met and got all hilarious on Bimbalo.
Yeah, yeah, no, that was a fun day. Yeah, it has been a while. This last couple of years have been different.
Yes, I still feel that out of everything that I've done, that was probably the most fun I've had on set ever.
It was a very, very funny day and a great shoot to be on. So, yeah, I consider myself pretty lucky to be there that day.
It was a different time. It was a very different time. So
Yes, it was.
Steve, obviously the creator of Bimbalo, is my editor for Ghosted. So we were
Oh, lovely.
the night that when we were scheduled to do this last, and I cancelled at the last minute. I was sat here with Steve editing, and I was like, "Oh, I'm interviewing Dan," and then we sat there for ages, racking our brain, trying to remember what that line was that we that made
Yeah, I
the
was
day
thinking of it on the
hilarious.
way home. Yeah, it's a different time. It's a very, very different time. Yeah,
It was a good day.
yeah.
Anyway, you've done so many things since then, and I'm keen to hear all about your acting journey and what you're up to. But first of all, why, what got you into this kind of industry in the first place? Why acting?
Uh, it's it's something that has always been in my heart, and I know that every actor you ask will say the same thing. It's something that's inside you that's screaming out. I've grown up in a lot of country town sort of areas where being going down that road of dramatic art or getting into film schools or anything like that. It's kind of not the thing. Uh,
Sure.
so it's taken me a long time to actually choose to follow that dream and not care about what anyone thinks. So I didn't get started till I did a few things when I was younger, and moved to Sydney, and then I moved back home after someone close to me died, and then I just kind of let it pass for a very long time until I couldn't let it go anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I can definitely empathize with a lot of that because I'm very similar. How old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
I just turned 40, so
Okay, cool. So we're about the same age. Um,
yeah.
okay, what did it feel like for you, I suppose, having that desire to act but not acting on it, if you will, during that period where I guess you were caring what people thought?
Yeah, it's one of those things where you never feel like you're being yourself. Like you're just living this existence where um, you know that you should be going down this road, and that's where everything inside you is telling you to go, and you feel like you're living a fraudulent life going down this other road. So, yeah, it took me a long time to come around to that and to actually go, look, stuff it. I'm just gonna do it, and I don't care. I know I'm 33 years old and uh, probably past my time, as they say. But I just thought, look, you can still be doing jobs when you're 80 years old,
Of course.
and so I got plenty of time.
It's so funny, isn't it, the things we tell ourselves? I mean, 33 is hardly over the hill and it's hardly old. Uh, I mean, to even, I mean, acting must be one of the only professions where you think, oh, I'm too old. I'm too far gone for it to happen.
Yeah, I would say one of the very few. Yeah.
How did you kind of get past that feeling of I'm 33, maybe I'm past it, but I want to give it a shot?
Um, I guess that what I kind of did was I had a lot of like a couple of different long-term relationships. Like my first girlfriend out of school, I was with her for like 12 years. So kind of went down this other road there, and was just going to kind of live that, you know, get married, have kids, and work, and then retire. You know, that kind of normal job,
Yeah.
everyday thing.
Normal.
Yeah. And I mean, yeah, that was, it's a different life, a very, very different life. But, no, once, that relationship's, we kind of grew apart and it fell by the wayside, and then that's when I kind of dipped my toes in and went down to Sydney and stuff like that, and then, you know, getting in another relationship after that, then I kind of deviated back from doing the acting thing, and I don't know, I just made some decisions that weren't towards that acting goal, and it just deviated me away. So, and then I got to that point where I'm like, that's it. I don't care who comes into my life. This is where I'm going to go, and I'm not going to let anything stop me. And it's not that anyone was stopping me. It was just myself and my focus deviating.
Okay. Well, cool. Well, here you are now, 7 years later, and I mean, you seem to always be working, which is amazing. Tell me when you decided at 33, at that ripe old age, that you were gonna give it a shot. What was your idea at that point in time of what making it was for you? Not what it is now, but like when you said, "That's it, I'm gonna head towards this goal of acting." What was the goal? What was making it?
I think making it back then was doing the big blockbuster movies. You know, once you get that blockbuster and you're on your way, you've made it. You know, the millions are coming in and all of that jazz. You know, the typical just blown out of proportion idea. These days, a lot later, my idea of making it is being able to survive on purely my acting wage and not having that side job that we all have to do.
Yeah.
You know, to pay the bills and make ends meet.
Yeah.
That's making it now. If I can get that, whether it be on a long-running TV series or if I'm just getting enough of those here and there jobs to make it work, that's my idea of making it. Then you're a real, you know, working actor where you can support yourself and your family, and that's what you are. And you're not that waiter or whatever side hustle you do.
Yeah.
You're not that. You're an actor.
Yep. What's your side hustle at the moment?
I work in the coal mines.
Oh wow! Okay.
Yeah, in the Hunter Valley. So I drive the equipment, the bulldozers and the trucks and stuff, and that keeps me busy 12 and a half hours a day while I'm on shift and nights.
How does that fit in with acting?
Well, because we work such long hours through our shifts, we only work seven shifts in the fortnight, so you're getting 50-50 time on, time off. And you only ever do 3 shifts max and then have 3 days off, and then you'll do 2 shifts and have 2 days off. So it's pretty regular that you're going to be off work.
Okay.
So the jobs that I get, 50% of the time they'll land on my days off. And when they don't, I just organise to have the time off through work. Hopefully there's enough notice there where I can just put in leave. And if not, I hope my bosses don't watch this, but, you know, you just put a sick day in, you know, that you just got to do what you got to do.
Oh, life of an actor, hey? You've got to chuck a sickie. I think it's interesting. Interesting is not the right word, but a lot of time, I don't think people understand the kind of sacrifices that you have to make it as an actor. I remember when I was younger, when I was in my early 20s and I was in Manchester working, anytime I got an audition, I was like, oh no, I can't do that. I've got a shift tomorrow, so sorry. And then eventually they were like, we're not calling you anymore. See you later. So
Yeah, no, I definitely understand, that side of it. It's hard because, so many people don't realize, I'm working that full-time job, which is hard enough to handle, working through the nights and things like that, and out of your sleep pattern. And then, sometimes you'll get in off night shift and not have slept and drive down to a short film or a day on set and just push through it. And it takes its toll on you, and it's working two jobs at once, and hopefully one day I can just let one of them go and and just have the one job.
Fingers crossed. Do you consider acting or the mines your side hustle?
I consider the mines my side hustle now, but I've been mining for 8 years now, so it's gone from that was my main job, and as I've progressed in my acting career, it's slowly transitioning over to now I'm an actor, and the side hustle is what keeps me going in the mines.
Yeah, that's a kind of fun topic to explore, right? So pretty much, by the sounds of it, from timing wise, you've pretty much been doing the same amount of time on both things. So yeah,
pretty close to it.
So what was it about your acting journey that gave you the permission to consider yourself an actor and the mining a side hustle versus you're a miner and acting as a side hustle?
I think it's your mental state. I think when you're first starting out in acting, as you would know yourself, you've just got so many doubts on your abilities and so many, am I good enough? Can I do this? Am I going to get hired? Just so many doubts within yourself that you get to that stage where you've had enough jobs, you feel like you've got enough experience in, the different things you've been doing, like music videos or short films or feature films, commercials. You just get to that point where you're like, nah, now I can actually confidently say that I've done enough and I can call myself an actor. You could call yourself an actor after the first job, but I think it takes, like anything, it takes time and training and developing things.
Yeah.
At least in my mind.
Sure. Look, everybody's perspective is different. A guest that by the time this is listened to will have already gone live, but it's set to come to go. Let me start that sentence again. It is set to be live for next Friday. And this guy's a stuntman. He was a pro MMA fighter for a long time, and he's acting kind of full time, but also he's also a security guard for I think it was a Saudi Arabian family, like personal detail.
Oh, right.
But even though he's working constantly, he considers acting a hobby because he's not acting full time and it's not his only income. So it's kind of interesting to hear the different perspectives on when people consider themselves an actor. And I think there's a lot of imposter syndrome for a long time. Because obviously in the very beginning, we're not, our idea of making it is the Hollywood blockbusters, and people are asking you, well, will I have seen you in anything? And you feel invalidated. So I don't know, it's just kind of interesting hearing the different perspectives on what that looks like.
Yeah, I agree. When you're first starting out and people ask that question, it does invalidate you, and you definitely feel it.
My standard response these days is, I don't know, do you watch a lot of student films?
That's a good one.
Yeah. Okay, so let's backtrack then to when you decided, right, I'm gonna make a go of acting. What was the kind of plan that you had if you had a plan, what was your plan that you had in place for you to kind of reach where you are now?
I think my only plan was to get an agent.
Okay.
I knew that if I got an agent, the auditions would come, because that's what an agent does. Gets you in the room, and if you work on the scene enough and you get it down pat, you're in with a shot. So, and if you're not terrible, you might not get this role, but they'll want to see your next audition or your next audition, and that role will come along where you're right for it. So that was the only plan that I had at the start, was I'm just going to get an agent, and I knew I obviously had to do training to get an agent. So I couldn't do a diploma as such or anything at a school like NIDA, so I just went and did their short courses. I did a NIDA short course for screen acting, went to Screenwise and did their beginners screen acting course. And then more recently, I've tried to keep learning through workshops with casting directors, which is great to get to know them. They get to see you in person, and you develop the scene and do it in front of them, and they get to know what you like and where they could place you, and to develop that relationship where, they know you.
Yeah.
I think that's really important, so that's been my more recent plan, is I need to get in front of directors in workshops. Like, I've done Kriv Stender's masterclass a couple of times. Stevie Ray, I've been in front of him a couple of times. Michaela Gibson, casting directors that are at the top of, the Australian casting. Get in front of them and get known and get a personal relationship happening, so that, I'm still here, hey,
That's it, isn't it? Just letting them know that you're still here and still available and still working away.
That's it. Because if they don't see you, it's easy to forget about someone. Like, oh, I wonder what happened to them. They kind of haven't been around.
Yeah. How long did it take you to get your first agent then?
It was pretty quick, because I just went to kind of an extras agency and joined up there. And doing that type of work, you don't need too much experience. You get you on set and you get to learn what happens when you're out there, how to, sometimes you'll get a bump up to a line or something, or a featured role, or that's how I started, and just doing those, getting on set, doing extra work. And then you kind of get enough little bits and pieces like that where you might get a little bit of good footage off this one and something off there, and you just piece it together, and then you move up again and go to a better agent and say, hey, here's what I've done. Would you be interested? And it's just working up that ladder, just slow steps, And
have you done that a few times then?
I have. I've jumped a couple of times, and every single one of them has been a good relationship, and we've both served each other well, and no hard feelings and that sort of stuff. But you just got to sometimes make those decisions. It's kind of just a stepping thing. You're just trying to step up and up and up and up and up, and there are hard decisions that you make, But where I'm at right now is I've found a really good agent, and we get along like a house on fire, and he works hard, 5 times as hard as I do. So it's got me really content at the moment, which is good.
Yeah, nice. Is there so if you mentioned earlier that your main plan was to get in front of an agent so that you could because they would get you auditions. How much work do you get off your own kind of networking and your own efforts versus kind of what you get through agent these days?
Well, there's a couple of websites out there where you can obviously join as a new actor, and the lower tier jobs are placed up on there, or student films where you're just collaborating with other people. And that website I used a lot when I was starting out, and I worked for free for a good couple of years, you know, just short film here, short film there, bit part here, you know, $100 little commercial thing there. Just whatever I could get my hands on to get those credits. And then more recently it slowly diverted away from using that so much into my agent pretty much gives me 90% of my work these days.
Okay.
So it's gone from 90% there, 10% agent, and it's transitioned to 90% agent, 10% of, they call it Star now, you probably know the site, yeah.
You mean Backstage? As you know, over the past few years, self-tapes have become the norm, and they are being used by more and more industry professionals to cast all sorts of productions. I've personally recorded self-tapes for theatre, and TV, and film, and commercials, and it makes life easier for casting as they can see more options. But what isn't easy for us actors is finding someone to read for us in the moment that we need them. That's where We Audition comes in. We Audition is an online video chat community where you can call someone that has marked themselves available and they will read for you for your audition. You can use We Audition to rehearse, film, or just ask questions that may help your audition. Last year I had an actor contact me who had never drank alcohol, who just wanted to know how to play drunk. You can sign up to We Audition to be a reader yourself. I log into We Audition most days and I just leave it on, and people call and I accept, and I help them with their auditions. So you can earn a little extra cash doing that, and you can just meet some great people. I even helped one of the main cast of Morning Wars tape an audition towards the end of last year. Look, it's a great platform, and if you're going to sign up to be a reader, it basically pays for itself. So if you want to sign up to be a reader on We Audition, you can get 25% off using the Actors Making It discount code MAKING IT. So just go to www.weaudition.com and use the code MAKINGIT when you sign up. How long do you think it took you from starting out to where you are now to get to a point where you didn't need to rely on those personal efforts as much as the agent providing you with work?
I think, well, if I'm in my 7th year, probably 6 years.
Okay.
It's, yeah. I mean, I still think it's important. Like, you're constantly in the hustle.
Correct.
You know, if I don't have a commercial or you know, something through my agent, then I need to be on that music video, or I need to be working on that short film with the, you know, AFTRS, or, you know, wherever it might be. I need to be hustling as much as my agent is getting me work. So it's, and everything my agent sends me obviously supersedes anything I'm getting on my own. If I was booked for a music video through NIDA a couple of weeks ago, and I ended up not being able to do it because I booked a NRMA shoot. So yeah, I kind of had to let them down. Yeah, I got a second one. I just finished it 2 days ago, so it was two day shoot, which is good.
I think I've seen you in some adverts that I also auditioned for over the last couple of years, and your first NRMA one was one of them.
Yeah, no, that was a good one. I've done well off that.
Very good. And what about? I mean, obviously, I don't think a lot of people realise, but commercials are kind of bread and butter when it comes to paid acting work, especially in Australia. How much drama or scripted work are you getting versus commercials at the moment?
To tell you the truth, most of my work at the moment is commercial work.
I mean, it pays better, so it's good.
Yeah, I mean, it's good in that sense, yeah. Money keeps coming in, which is good. But, you know, your heart is definitely in drama, you know, doing a TV series or of one of those American films coming over here, you know. And everything's ramping up with the US coming over and filming stuff over here. So I think people like yourself or myself at our age and the experience level we're at, we're in a really good position to land something really good in the not too distant future. You know, I think there's a lot of opportunities coming, and yeah, it's going to be good.
Yeah, I kind of feel like I've gotten to a point now where at least like Mitchell Casting, for example, keep inviting me in for scripted work, which is great and hasn't happened for a lot of my career. And I feel like I've just started to get known, and I leave in 6 weeks.
Yeah,
so
awesome. Yeah, I've got a bit recently from Mitchell as well, and I was just talking to a guy on the NRMA shoot, and he's also getting some good Mitchell stuff through. We both of us haven't landed anything yet, but the fact that we're wanting to be seen, yeah, it's really good.
And I think that's the thing that not a lot of people kind of appreciate or realize, especially when they're starting out, that if a casting director is getting you in regularly, that means they like you and they want to see your work.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean, like, the fact that you don't get it doesn't mean that they don't like you. The fact that they keep inviting you means they see something and they're looking out for you and they want to see you succeed.
Absolutely. Yeah, it is a really good thing if they're asking you for, even though you didn't get that role, if they're asking you to do a different role or even for a different production, that's fantastic because they like what you sent them.
Exactly.
And with the self-tapes these days, you know, it's easy to send in your best scene rather than step in that room for 5 minutes and give them something that you walk out just going, oh my God.
Have you, given you've been at this for 7 years, and we've been kind of in a self-tape world for coming up to 3 years now, did you get the opportunity to get in front of a lot of casting directors in the room pre-COVID?
I had been to a handful without much success. I can't say that I'm a very good auditioner in person, but I do a pretty good self-tape, which is I know that some people have really found it hard through you know the COVID thing, but with these self-tapes, my career has flourished in the last couple of years. I really feel like I've just been having that gradual incline, and it's just been getting better and bigger, and that's fantastic. And I can't say it'll always be like that, but yeah, it's been really good to just do those self-tapes because, you know, through COVID, I did a lot of time watching YouTube videos on cinematic shots and how to film this and what to do here and, you know, how to film, well, a short film for starters, but to get it really looking cinematic and good. And when you incorporate that in a self-tape, I've been getting a lot of success. And half of my self-tapes will be in front of a blank wall like what you see me at now, and then half of them I'll actually film the way that it's written on the script. Like if it's you getting into a car, I won't just sit here and sit in my seat. I'll film myself getting in the car, different shots, different angles, key in the ignition, you know, driving up the road. My wife will be beside me with the gimbal and, you know, filming me looking in the mirror, and do the whole production thing, and we've got some really good, got the good success as not only myself individually, but as a family unit, because we have 5 children with a broad age range. So we've been getting family roles and that sort of thing as well, which has really helped.
Okay, there's a lot to kind of unpack there. Great that the family can kind of get involved. Wow that you're managing 2 careers and 5 children. But how, like, the whole actually shooting something as if it's the thing blows my mind, because I feel like that goes against everything that I've been told from a self-tape perspective. So talk me through, what made you feel comfortable. How did you kind of get to that point? What was it? I don't even know what question to ask here. Like, how did you go from let's just shoot on a blank wall to let's shoot a short film for a commercial?
Yeah, I wanted my tape to stand out for starters. And yeah, it's great to do the audition in front of the blank wall, like it's always been done for a long time. But I just thought, how can I do it better? And how can I incorporate the things that I've learned? Because I can't incorporate it on a blank wall. I need to actually be in a scene to incorporate that nice movement with the camera, or, whatever it may be. Utilize the nice background in the area you're in, or, some of my auditions, I've actually gone to the shops, like let's say it's a commercial. If I'm auditioning for, I know I went to Barbecues Galore and shot me walking into their store at the end of the tape and stuff like that. So, I wasn't successful with that one, but it really worked with what I did with the whole tape. And I think that it sort of made the casting directors' ears prick up and go, wow, this is something different. It's, it might not be what we're looking for, but I've really liked the effort he's put into this. So, yeah, just wanting to stand out and be different. And I don't do it for every tape. Some tapes you think, I can't do that because it's for a TV series and you just need to present your lines in front of camera. But for commercials, I certainly think it fits in a lot of occasions. Okay.
And then do you edit it together like it's a short film, or?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah. Some of the stuff I'll put background music and cut it all together nicely so it tells the story nice. So it's a mini production, but it's a lot of work. It takes me longer to edit it through and get it uploaded and everything than to shoot it. So,
well, I mean, if it's working, then why not, hey?
Yeah, well, it is working, but for the few roles I get for TV series and movies and things, I would more so just do it on the blank wall.
Sure.
I know the audition I did for the lead bad guy in Extraction 2, I did the full production to impress, and it's just a shame they took that to Europe because I really thought I might have a shot at that.
Next one.
Yeah.
So speaking, I guess, moving on to, your 7 years into your career, what's your plan for the next 7 years? Have you got a goal or something that you're working towards at the moment?
I've got my eyes set on getting a role on, is it NCIS Sydney? That's rumoured to be coming. I think at the age I'm at, that could be something where I could land a main cast role or a supporting role or something that's going to allow me to quit the side hustle, maybe. Yeah, apart from that, I mean, I just kind of take it as it comes, you know. You put your audition out there, and then I just kind of forget about it, and you might get a call, you might not, but then I'm sort of just waiting, what's next? What's the next thing the agent's going to send through?
Yeah.
You know, and then as soon as it comes through, you're on it. And the great thing about what we do is how spontaneous it is that something big's going to land in your lap. Like a big audition just goes bang, and you're like, oh my God, how am I gonna get this through and do the best possible take I can to get this job? It's exciting, and I never really think, oh, I'm never going to get a job again or anything like that. I just think it's only a matter of time, you know, before I get that big job, and it's, yeah.
I think that's a really important mindset to have if you're trying to make it as an actor, that it's not a hope or an if it's going to happen, it's a when it's going to happen. And I think having that faith in yourself, especially from a mental health perspective, is really important. Have you, I mean, obviously I assume over the last 7 years, you've gone through various stages of your own mental health journey when it comes to acting and the imposter syndrome at the beginning to kind of where you are now. Have you talked to me about any kind of experience you've had around the negativity, the self-negativity and self-criticism that you might have had around your acting journey over the last 7 years?
Ever since I made the decision to go hard at my acting 7 years ago, I don't think I've ever had any self-doubt kind of within myself about when's it going to end, or I mean, I've had that, oh, am I good enough or not sort of thing, but I think my mindset's always been, I'm in this for the long haul. I might not work for a year, but I'm still here. I'm still going to be putting stuff out. I'm still going to be, you know, sending auditions in. I'm still going to be hustling, and, you know, and that's just going to be year after year. Yeah. That'll be happening for me. And there's no compromise with that in my mind. The hardest thing mentally for me is, you know, sometimes when you're in a hard industry like mining, and your workmates are seeing some stuff that's coming out and they love giving you a bit of stick about it, you know, it's, you know, you just got to let it roll off your back, and they'll, you know, they'll give you shit about it over and over and over again, and you know, it's just, you just got to let it roll off your back and keep going. And, you know, it's like what Arnold Schwarzenegger says, don't listen to the naysayers, you know, just keep going. And you know that they're cheering for you in the background, you know, that I think people want to see you succeed, you know, because where I live and what I do, I'm the only one doing it, you know. There's not like a handful of coal miners that go to auditions on their days off or go and do a commercial or something. So I think that they just give me shit because they kind of they kind of enjoy what I do as well. They're like, oh, there's Dan, he's on the telly again, you know, or something. There's a bit of joy there for him.
Yeah, nice. And I assume your family is all very supportive of what you're doing.
Yeah. My wife, she supports pretty much everything I do, and yeah, she's you know, I don't think I could do it as well as I do without her, because, you know, we've got 5 kids, and she holds the fort together, you know. She allows me to, like, I went down to stunt training today, and I couldn't have done that if she wasn't here doing her thing, you know. So, yeah, it's a team effort. And, you know, behind every man, there's a great woman. That's what they say.
Sure. That will be my mum for me. So, I mean, it sounds like you're doing amazing things with your acting career, and you're definitely on that upward trajectory. Do you think you will always stay in Australia, or are the bright lights of Hollywood or another region something that attracts you? Would you ever move for your acting?
I think if I was younger, I would. These days, with my roots here and the family, I don't think I will. Yeah, I mean, Hollywood's always been the big thing for any actor, you know. We need to get over to Hollywood, but with the way Hollywood's coming over here now, I don't think there's a huge need to go over there anymore. Sure. You know, the massive studios that are getting built here, and, you know, Disney coming over, and I think we're going to see an explosion of productions over here where, like I said, guys like you and me, we're here ready to go. It's just a matter of time, you know.
Just a matter of when.
Yeah, I think it's going to happen, and we're all in prime position for it.
Yeah, amazing. All right. Well, look, I've got one final question for you, which is, if someone is starting out at the moment, or not, you know, think they're a little bit too old to kind of get going, what advice would you give to someone that was looking to break into the industry?
My advice would be, if your heart's in it, to definitely do it. Doesn't matter what age, and don't put a time limit on it. Like, if I'm not in a movie within 3 years, I'm going to give up and just go back to whatever. If that's where your heart lies, go in and stick to it. And it's like anything in life. You'll make mistakes and you'll bumble your way through. But be in it for the long haul. You know, sometimes it'll take 10 years to get that role that you've always dreamed about, but, you know, if you just keep going, you can make it happen, you know.
I think they say that 10 years is the average time of graft before you kind of not make it, but kind of get to that place of regular acting work.
I have heard that. I've heard that too. The people that arrive overnight actually have been working for 10 years prior on small things before they got that lead role.
The gig that changed their life.
99% of the time, that's the way it'll be too, you know.
Cool. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining me this miserable Saturday. You've made it a little bit brighter for me.
Oh, thank you for having me on, Danny. You know, the self-doubt in me was saying, I don't know if I'm ready for Danny's podcast. It seems like all the actors he's had on have got a lot better credits than what I have. So
it's not about the credits; it's about the graft. And, you know, I think my goal or my mission with this podcast is really to showcase actors and the graft that goes behind trying to make it. It's the side hustles that you keep doing to support the love of acting and the desire to kind of make it in whatever way making it means to them. So everybody is a very, not everybody, most people are a good candidate for the podcast.
Yeah, well, I appreciate you having me on, mate. Thank you.
Thanks for joining me. Have a wonderful weekend, and I look forward to seeing the rest of your journey to making it.